What's up, everyone? It's Mekel, Kasanova, Hawaii's favorite YouTuber and host of the #1 podcast in the state of Hawaii, the Kasanova Podcast. I'm here today with another video review, and this is going to be for a really amazing game that I truly love. And I probably, by saying it's an amazing game, I'm probably giving away the rating of the game, which defeats the purpose of the video, but not really. Don't worry about it. So this video is going to be about Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Now this is the latest Koji Igarashi game to come out. We had one come out last year, which was a Kickstarter goal, which was Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, which from what I understand it doesn't really have a connection canonically to Ritual of the Night, but it is what it is. It's another phenomenal game you should go and play. So in this review, I'm going to have some help when it comes to covering this game, because I'm not going to be the only one talking about it. There's also going to be two of my good friends, one being Fabain of GamerThumbTV, as well as Xander Skullion of Excess Gaming Podcast, which I highly recommend you go sub to both their channels, and they're just great content creators, and I highly recommend them, good friends of mine. So, whether or not this game is good, minus a little spoiler I gave you earlier in this review, we're gonna find out. So with that being said, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and ding the notification bell. And let's go ahead and get into this video. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. Okay, so we're going to give an overview of Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. What is it? Why are people clamoring over it? Because basically it's been eons, or a decade, 2008, since we've had a traditional Castlevania style game, or traditional Castlevania. And that last game was Castlevania Order of Ecclesia, created by Koji Igarashi, which was the last Castlevania that he worked on, and we're not going to include Castlevania Judgment because that's more of a spin-off. It has really nothing to do with the main timeline. So that was the last one, starring Shinoa, and you know, she had the glyphs and all that. It was a really, really good game. It's very difficult compared to the previous Castlevania games that came out before it, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Now fast forward 10 years, Koji Igarashi left Konami because he wanted to make the games he wanted to make, which is a genre basically he created. Games where it's about exploration and getting percentages on a map which affect the ending of the game and certain things you can do in it. And so one of the reasons he left Konami is because they said that gamers don't want those kind of games anymore. Well, I mean, I think they probably should have said something to the indie devs that have been pumping out these titles, from Hollow Knight to Chasm, the Mummy, the Mummy game that came out, which was super good by Way Forward, and other Way Forward titles too, like the Shantae series, that have just been killing it with the Metroidvania formula. So it's just really interesting when you sit and think about how out of touch Konami really was at the time. I'm not saying they still are. I mean, maybe I am. I don't know, throwing shade. But either way, they came, Koji Igarashi started something that was truly phenomenal. That legacy from 97 to today is still going. And we finally have a new title with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Now, it stars the character Miriam, who is a shard binder. Now basically what that is a human that was experimented on with a type of sorcery, and she's got these crystals and shards on her body which slowly are basically going to corrupt her and kill her. They're crystallizing and spreading across her body, and she's got different ones. And so I'm not going to really go into the story too much, because I think the story for what's there is pretty good, because you have cutscenes that act out what happened. You also have different books that you can pick up, and you'll be able to read and see the different things, the experiments that were done, the horrific things that were done, the lack of any type of moral integrity, and it just goes from there. And then you had different people. You have an alchemist to help you. You have a church lady who's your shopkeeper. You've got different side quests you can do with the different villagers that are still there. You go out and you do various things for them. kill X amount of monsters or collect certain types of items, and those are all there. You also meet a Belmont-like character, missing the Belmont strut, in the form of Zangetsu, who uses a katana. He's got red clad armor, which is kind of like a cross between a samurai and a Western Knight style armor. Missing an eye. He's got, purified, Japanese strips all over his body. So it's pretty cool what, his design, and the fact that he's voiced by the legendary David Hayter, who is the voice of Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid series. It is truly phenomenal. I think the voice acting in this game itself is truly phenomenal. I mean, what they've been able to do, the type of voice actors they've had on. One really cool fact is the voice actor who voices Johannes, the alchemist, is actually none other than Benjamin Diskin, I previously had on the Kasanova podcast. So he's also the voice of Bond from Seven Deadly Sins, as well as the voice of Mega Man from Mega Man 11. It's super cool to see you in another work. And Benjamin, I think you did a really, really good job with that. The whole cast is phenomenal. I really have no issues with any of the voice acting. I think it's really well done. I mean, you even have the return of Robert Belgrade, who was the voice of Alucard in the original Castlevania Symphony of the Night, returning as the voice of OD, or Orlok Jakul, basically Alucard with black hair.
You're quite the avid reader. I suppose it's only fair I let you borrow more books at once. Here to take out a book?
And it's just, the callbacks to Symphony of the Night are truly, truly amazing. Now let's get into the gameplay. The gameplay, I mean, if you play Symphony of the Night, or if you play any of the Castlevanias following Symphony of the Night, Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Ray of Sorrow, or any of the others, you basically played this. Miriam moves around like, she's super responsive. I mean, she's got the backdash, she's got the slide, and then you gain different abilities along the way. I mean, when you kill enemies, you get their shards, or you have a high probability of getting their shards. And with those shards come new, both active and passive abilities. I mean, you can get some that allow you to double jump, some that allow you to, move your hand about, and it's like a trace of light, and then you can just teleport along mirrors as a light beam. And then there are other ones that allow you to swim, ones that allow you to summon familiars, ones that allow you to use sub-weapon type things, and ones that allow you to use like super powered attacks. Like if you kill the first boss, you actually get the tentacle just come out of this big hieroglyph and just smack everything that's in the vicinity of the screen. It's really cool. The gameplay, it doesn't stray too far from what you saw in Order of Ecclesia or with an Array of Sorrow or Symphony of the Night, and it allows you a lot of freedom. I mean, there's something that's in this game that's really a callback to Symphony of the Night, and it's the ability of using different weapons that allow you to have different inputs. Like you can have daggers, which if you do the fireball motion, allows you to throw them. And then there's the ones with the whip, ones with like the great swords, where instead of just swinging down, you can swing up like that. There's so many different things, so many different inputs that are hidden about the game that are techniques. And as you read you'll go to different areas with bookshelves, and you can find out different techniques, or you can just accidentally do them on your own, because there's no restriction keeping you from being able to do that. Now, we're going to talk about the music, and oh my god, is the music good. Michiru Yamane comes back and just absolutely kills it when it comes to the music. Yes, I know I butchered that person's name. Don't at me. But it's really cool how they were able to come back, and the vibe and the energy of melding rock and classical thematic gothic music together, and just what comes out of it is just it's beautiful, right? It's super good. And every theme, from the interest theme to the theme where you're on the ship, to the theme where you're in the clock tower, where you're in the library, you're in the garden, where you're in the upper, you're in a dimension or you're in hell. It all sounds perfect. I have absolutely no complaints about the music in this game. Truly, truly superb music. One of the other things I'd like to talk about with this game comes with the graphics. Now, I have the ability to play this because I have it, as I said at the beginning, I have this on the PlayStation 4, I have it on the Xbox One, as well as the Nintendo Switch. I don't have it for PC, so I can't really do a comparison there. But on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, the game can run at 4K. It looks good. I mean, I've seen people complain about the graphic style, the polygons, how the characters look. I don't have that complaint because I think it suits it. The 2.5D cell shaded 3D look, I think does really well with this game. And I have absolutely no complaints with it whatsoever. Could it have been better? I mean, like anything else, it could have been. I'm not gonna cry over that. On the Switch, it doesn't look as good, and there are noticeable things that you'll be able to see, like when it comes to the opening level, you'll see drops of rain and just storming on the ship. You'll see it going down the wood boards, and it's very beautiful on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I played it on the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro, and it looks really good. On the Switch, there's a lot of corners that are cut, a lot of things that aren't there, and it also looks, both docked and handheld on the Switch, it looks a bit blurry. And I'm really not sure how I'm supposed to feel about that. I mean, it's not game-changing in the sense of it's terrible, but it is noticeable. But if that was the first thing I went with, was just the Switch version, I wouldn't really have any complaints whatsoever. Yes, it does look fuzzy at times and watered down. Yes, it does run at about 30 frames per second versus the 60 frames per second on the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. But there's this misconstrued idea that it's unplayable on the Switch. And that's a big bunch of bull, because it's very playable. And to speak on that, here's Xander to talk about it.
So I've been playing Bloodstained Ritual of the Night now for 4 hours, the Nintendo Switch port. Been having an absolute blast. All I can say is the port for Nintendo Switch is okay. Sure, it doesn't look as pretty as the PS4 version, but the spirit is here. It's been such a blast. Every time I get ready to put the game down, something cool happens, and I pick back up and start playing some more. I cannot stress enough. I don't even want to review this game. I just want to say go out and buy it. If you're a Castlevania fan, if you have any sort of nostalgia or love in your heart for Symphony of the Night, this game is for you. Go out, buy this game, support Igarashi, or it's game over.
Thank you, Xander, for that. And yeah, the only issue I've run into with the Switch version is occasionally, there's the HD rumble issue with the Pro controller. Sometimes it'll be activated and it doesn't turn off until you go back to the home screen and go back. So I figured I'd include this in the review because the HD rumble on the Switch version of the HD rumble right now is non-stop just vibrating. And I know there's going to be a patch to fix this, but I just figured I need to mention this in the review for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for the Switch. Probably can't hear it, but it's vibrating. But other than that, I've never had it crash on me. It's run smooth, and I just hear a lot of people talk bad about the version. Yeah, it's not fully optimized, but you know what? There were issues with the PS4 and Xbox One version, the PC version of Ritual of the Night, which, you know what? Bloodstained team were able to fix it. They worked on it and fixed that issue that basically bricked the game. Now on the Switch version, they're aware of it. They're working actively to get that fixed. So I cannot bash them for that. I cannot bash them for something that they are actively working on. So, is it unplayable? No, it's not unplayable. Anyone telling you it's unplayable, probably listen to another YouTuber, and a YouTuber who probably doesn't like it, and there's a lot of them out there that don't really like the game. And like most, they just take it for gospel and run with it. But from personal experience, it's fine. Now, as far as any differences between the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One version, on the One X and on the PS4 Pro, I have noticed that there is a difference when it comes to loading. Like, typically going from the loading screen to, like if you first start the game up and it goes to the intro, there is, on the PlayStation 4, a bit longer, bit of a wait time. It can be anywhere from like 15 to 20 seconds, maybe 30. It's the same thing if you're loading a save file. It can be a little long, but then it kind of depends. On the Xbox One version, it's really quick. I'm saying like 5-10 seconds tops, and you're in and it's going. So there's a speed difference of the loading. Graphically, both games look really good. HDR looks beautiful on both, and the 4K looks good for what they actually used it for. I have no complaints. Now, as far as issues with the game, are there any technical hiccups? I mean, of course, we could say that the Switch version has a lot of technical hiccups with the performance that has been reported to the team, and as I said, they're working on that. I've not personally experienced any of them, but I think it's fine that they are actively trying to work on it. I mean, they are engaging with their audience to get this fixed. Now, as far as it goes with other issues with the game, like as far as like the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 version, on the PlayStation 4 I actually haven't run into any issues with the game. It hasn't stopped on me, hasn't frozen, I haven't had any issues with that whatsoever, any crashes. However, I did experience that on the Xbox One version where it crashed randomly, both when I went to see OD and also at one point when the game was just loading. It went to the start screen, I pressed start, I went to my save file, it loaded and crashed. But that's only been about 3 instances of that happening, and ever since the update that released for the Xbox One version, I haven't had any issues with it. Never had the issue with the PlayStation 4 version, and like I said, I never had an issue with the Switch version, so I can't really speak to any issues with that. Now, as far as the wrap up, Fabian, take it away.
I really hope that Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a wake-up call for Konami. If anything, the game proves that there's still a market for these kind of games, and fans are just sitting around waiting for them. So, do something with Castlevania. And no, a mobile phone game does not count. Even if Konami doesn't do anything with Castlevania, at the very least, we have an excellent new series that's similar in terms of gameplay, and I welcome any sequels that are gonna happen. I loved Circle of the Moon before this, and I loved Ritual of the Night. Worth every single penny. And I'm ready for more of it.
Thank you, Fabian, for that. And yeah, I just want to give my input on it, and just say that this game is truly phenomenal. Koji Igarashi, I think you did a fantastic job. You didn't really have to do anything new. You just brought back what we were looking for. We wanted a new Metroidvania style game, Castlevania game, and you delivered in spades. Now, is the story light? I mean, the story could be a lot better, but I think with anything, when you're starting off new and you're building a new franchise, the first entry is always gonna seem like it needs more to make it more sufficient. But the thing is that there's so much lore in this title that you could go anywhere with it. And what does it fit into the Castlevania timeline? No, not really. But you could weave it in there somehow if you really wanted to. But I like that it's its own thing. I hope we get more entries, and I hope that, you know, the next game in the series takes more of a chance to do some new things. Because look at it this way, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon was every bit the definitive remake of Castlevania Dracula's Curse. And the same could truly be said about Bloodstained Ritual of the Night being the HD definitive version of what Castlevania Symphony of the Night would have been. And that just says that they made it better and they didn't really take risks. They didn't have to. We know Koji Igarashi can do great things. And I'm hoping with the next entry that we get something truly phenomenal with it. So, with that being said, I want to thank my two friends, Fabain of GamerThumbTV and Xander Skullion of X's Gaming Podcast for helping out with this review. Make sure you go and subscribe to their channels, ding the notification bell. Amazing content. They both have really great channels, and links to their channels is down in the description below and above head. It's either in one of these corners, you'll see a little bubble pop up. I also want to thank 505 Games for supplying me with a review code for the game for the PlayStation 4 version. I really am very grateful that you were able to send that out to me. It's truly amazing. Alex, you rock, and I'm just very grateful, you know, to be able to be a content creator, to be able to put out content, and to work with companies is truly a blessing, and anyone can do it, you know, believe in yourself. So with that being said, I give Bloodstained. It's so hard to go back and forth between the two names. I give Bloodstained Ritual of the Night the Kasanova seal of approval, which means you should go out and buy it. I'll leave an Amazon affiliate link down in the description below if you want to pick it up for whatever your platform, Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and I get a little bit of a kickback and it helps the channel out. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Definitely helps the channel out. And as I always like to end my videos, deuces wow, too sweet, be the elite. I'll see you in the next one.